What is up, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. I am PoBall43, alongside, as always, the Chicago Blackhawk, Kane Jr. 88, and the kitchen mess maker, Thermite 917. This episode is not to talk about Thermite's ineptitude concerning generic marinara chars, but rather the throwback weekend at Darlington. The Sport Clips VFW 200 for the Xfinity Series, a race in which I attended, and the Bojangles Southern 500 for the Cup Series. Fitting with the throwback theme, we'll be recapping the highlights of the race, but before the race even got started, we had to wait nearly 4 hours because Mother Nature had other plans. I'm assuming it had something to do with the period that she's on. However, 10 p.m. Eastern rolled around and we finally got underway with William Byron leading for about a turn until Brad Keselowski stormed by. Kurt Busch wiggled his way to the lead and led at the competition yellow. The only incident yellow of stage 1 saw Garrett Smithley take his Rick Ware garbage can for a little spinny. The stage concluded at lap 100 with Kurt Busch out front. Stage 2 featured a handful of yellows, starting with Ryan Newman's aero spin in front of Daniel Suarez. Next up was Corey LaJoie going for a ride after contact cut his tire, subsequently crunching his brake line. The final stage 2 yellow led to the end with Matt Tifft sandwiching BJ McLeod into the turn 2 wall. Kyle Busch was out front, getting him another precious playoff point, leading to his eventual regular season championship. Woohoo! No! Now, Kane, dazzle us with the stage 3 happenings, please.
Oh, a lot happened in stage 3, but none bigger than the big wreck that happened coming out of turn number 4 that took out Michael McDowell, as well as several front runners, including Jimmy Johnson, William Byron, Kurt Busch. A lot of strong cars were taken out in that crash, and it really pissed us off because we felt like pretty much all the guys who had a shot at the dominant car of Kyle Busch were all just wiped out. And we thought, well, this one's over, but no, wait, Eric Jones and Kyle Larson said, hold on a minute, we're still running, and they proved that by taking the lead on pit road underneath the ensuing caution from Kyle Busch, and they managed to hold on all the way to the end with that Jones boy, Eric Jones, picking up his second career win, and obviously his first win of 2019. So Eric Jones won, Kyle Larson came home second, Kyle Busch was third with Kevin Harvick fourth, Brad Keselowski rounds out the top 5, and then Clint Bowyer, Kurt Busch, Matty D, Matt DiBenedetto, Paul Menard, and Austin Dillon round out the top 10. Now we pick our race rating for this 70th running of the Southern 500, and that we go to Nick.
Thank you, Kane. Yeah, this race gets an 8 out of 10. The whole energy of the throwback weekend is something that's always memorable. This week was no different. It was just so enjoyable, everything leading up to it. So that helps right there. Then you get damn Mother Nature on the day of the big event, tries to piss all over everything, literally. But no, it did not hamper the race itself, because with evacuations happening the very next day in South Carolina due to the hurricane, NASCAR really wanted to get the race in there, so they did just that. It was late, but it happened. Unfortunately, dirty air was still a big factor, but at the same time, there was enough attrition and things going on to keep it interesting. Like Kane said, Eric Jones and Kyle Larson were big surprises up there. No one really flat out dominated. Even with Kyle Busch being fast, he had to really work for it to get all the way to the front. He didn't lead until really late and then obviously fell back. Smacked the wall coming to a couple laps to go, and that was that. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, this was a very good race for the year. We know how this package can be. It still showed its ugly head sometimes. It was already a one-groove racetrack, but we made it work as best as we could, so there's really not a whole lot of complaints to talk about. So 8 out of 10 for the Southern 500, and we're going on to Indy, which probably won't get that good of a rating at all.
Well said,
And
Nick.
now we... Thank you.
Alright, it's time to hand out some awards for the weekend at the Lady in Black, and leading off with that classic boner of the week. Nick, you already know someone's got a rager. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was Ryan Newman. He just did Ryan Newman things and was really tough to pass out there. He ended up running into Corey LaJoie and cutting his tire down. Tyler mentioned that. And then later on, also got into Daniel Hemrick, which ended up making Newman's tire start to go down. but it made Hendricks go down all the way and cause the big wreck, but that actually saved Newman because he caught the caution and was able to pit before the tire completely collapsed. Another thing he did was he freaking got spun by Daniel Suarez, which I guess is fitting because Newman deserves that every once in a while. It was kind of an error-lose situation, but Suarez was having a lot of trouble getting around him, and he kind of used him up. I mean, that's Darlington, and that's how it goes. But Ryan Newman, he had a typical Ryan Newman-like interview, a man of few words.
He had me jacked up going into the corner, and then they said he hit me, but pretty much uncalled for. He was struggling to catch me there for a while and finally got to me and then just turned me around. Whether he hit me or not, he turned me around. So I guess what comes around goes around.
This was a big playoff implication because that ended up making them tied in points going into the final race before the cutoff. Suarez ended up finishing 11th, and Newman was all the way back in 23rd. So just a random kind of get-together. Didn't really work out for either driver, but Suarez ended up gaining some points, and it's going to be quite a race at Indy. I mean, it might be the only race we really see there, but got something to work for. Next award.
All right, the next award is from good to hell, and oh my God, Hendrick Motorsports once again. They qualified great, and then they finish like absolute shit. William Byron, as we mentioned, started on the pole, but he wound up finishing 21st after getting caught up in that big wreck late in the race. Same with Jimmy Johnson. He qualified 6th, but he ended up finishing 16th, also a victim of the crash. Chase Elliott qualified in 8th, and he just went right down the drain. Nothing really happened to him. His car just went away, and he ended up finishing 19th. And finally, old Alex Bowman, he pretty much wasn't a factor all night. He started 16th, and, well, he ran in the top 5 for a little bit, but then he smacked the wall, cut down a right rear tire, and ended up finishing in 18th. So, yeah, all 400 cars finished outside of the top 16. Yeah. Shitty night indeed. Even looking more and more likely that Jimmy Johnson, for the first time in his career, is going to miss the playoffs, and that's quite unfortunate for old 7 times. So, moving on to the next award.
Yes, the next award is the
Straight Jacket Award!
And it goes to the Orange County Police Department and NASCAR for the handling of the whole Tyler Dipple situation. Now, this has kind of been going on for a week and a half or so. Dipple was forced to miss out on the race at Mosport, and we just didn't really know a whole lot of information. He was suspended, NASCAR's like, he violated the code of conduct, and none of us knew what that meant. Now, there was rumors sparkling around, it might have been drug-related, this and that, and the day before Tyler Dipple was able to release his statement, we basically found out, yes, he was arrested for having drugs in the car. Well, of course, everybody wants to just hammer down on the kid. There were a couple of people in particular that were really hard on him in the media, Jeff Hammond and Todd Bodine, both which had to issue apologies to him afterwards, and that's because it was taken completely out of context. Now, he finally fills everybody in. He's like, look, I've been cooperating the whole time. It was my friend's prescription that happened to be in his vehicle, and the cop, for whatever reason, needed to search the vehicle despite the fact that they were doing no wrong other than the fact that Mr. Dipple had made a little error on the road and he paid that fine. However, there was no reason for the police to even think that there was any sort of problem beyond that. However, it leads to Tyler Dipple getting arrested, thrown under the bus, looks like an ass clown, all because his buddy had a Adderall-related prescription in his backpack in Tyler's car. This whole situation is absolutely insane. And of course, it is just a small little technicality, could have easily been avoided. Now, luckily, the right thing was done, apologies were issued, he was immediately reinstated after the full story came out. It's just ridiculous how awry things can go over what was really a small issue. Absolutely ridiculous. NASCAR, the freaking Orange County Police, I believe it was you guys, you are all freaking crazy, and you're going to enjoy your jackets this week. I'm throwing you in that padded room. You're not even going to get a damn snack. You're going to sit there, you're going to think about what you did. Not cool. Next award.
All right, it is time to move on to the cigars, and we've got a bunch to give out. We'll start off with the Truck Series up in Mo Sport. There's only one from that, and that is Brett Moffitt, who won his second race in a row and the second race of the round of 8 for the Truck Series playoffs. We already know he's moving on after he won Bristol, but he decided to go out and just dominate at Mo Sport in his, GMS number 24. Brett, congratulations. Don't burn your mustache. And now moving on to the Xfinity Series race at Road America, Christopher Bell won his 6th win of the season, as well as his first win on a road course. And he even said beforehand that road courses aren't exactly his favorite type of track, but he finally managed to pull one off, and he's pretty much all he needs now is a restrictor plate win, and he's pretty much won everywhere. So, old C. Bell, congratulations. Probably still too young to smoke. And now moving on to the Xfinity Series from Darlington, and old Cole Buckshot Custer and his old Buckshot Jones 00 throwback. He inherited the race win after originally finishing second to old Dennis Hamlin, who unfortunately got disqualified when the car was too low in the left front and too high in the right rear. Oh, how unfortunate is that? When a Cup guy wins only to get disqualified and an Xfinity regular takes the win. Oh, that is just perfect. So, yeah, congratulations, Cole Custer. You didn't even have to do anything to get a win. And now, moving on to our final Xfinity Series cigar. Yeah, this was a big weekend for me and Tyler because, that's right, old Ralph Dale Earnhardt Jr. made his big return to the Xfinity Series for his one race of the year. He came home in 5th in that throwback Hellman's number 8, honoring his dad's first ever Cup start. Considering he was in a plane crash not even 2 weeks ago, he got back behind the wheel and ran inside the top 10 basically the entire race before originally finishing in the 6th spot, and then, of course, getting a top 5 thanks to Dennis. He frickin' did it. And I'm sure he and Amy had a little, Hellman's Mayo splatterfest in the motorhome, I'm sure. And I'm pretty sure 9 months from now, baby number 2 is going to be born. So congratulations, Dale.
Junior!
You got that right! Anyways, moving on to the Cup cigars. Tyler?
Thank you, Kane. Oh, shit. Oh, well. Old Jones boy, he's got to get a cigar. I mean, hell, he was the only one at JGR that has not won this season. He's kind of been the lame duck, and he had a real rough start that first half of the year. But he's been coming on strong, nailing out some top 5s, and they finally put it all together to grab himself the win. So hell of a job there, man. We got another cigar going to Kyle Larson. He finished 2nd. Again. But you know what? He's had a lot of momentum lately, and he's finally been kind of starting to turn the corner, just like old Jones boy. So, keep it up, Kyle. Next cigar goes to Clint Boyer, who finished in 6th place. But this cigar isn't really for the result. It's for the fact that he had one of the greatest interviews during the long rain delay with a fan. I mean, just pure banter reaction, couple of quotable incidents. He's sitting there with this good old redneck boy who's got a wad of skull in his damn cheek.
First of all, what's your name?
I'm Kyle,
Where are you from?
Plain City, Ohio.
See, Kyle here. You had a buddy sitting here earlier, right?
Yeah.
Checking out.
He went to get some beer.
You, Dale Jr. fan. If he can't win, I need to be the winner, right?
I guess so.
Because Junior's not in this race. You knew that.
No. This is Alex Bowman.
You got to
shirt.
pick. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Well, it's not a throwback.
He's in the race.
Yeah, he's in the race.
So you got me there. So who's you got any sponsors back at home? Your friends, your girlfriend, anything back home?
No,
You're on national television.
I got my family back home. I like to say hi to my dad John and my other family.
Shout out to John and the other family. Who's the other family?
Probably my uncle and cousin watching this race.
Yeah, don't forget your girlfriend.
I ain't got a girlfriend.
You will when this is over.
Hopefully.
Absolutely hilarious. Clint Boyer always brings a laugh, so we appreciate that. Enjoy a cigar. Glad you didn't suck either. The next cigar goes to old Matt DiBenedetto, 8th place. It was a very quiet one. He's kind of lingering back in the top 15, top 20 for the most of the race, but weaseled his way up there, took advantage of other mistakes, nabbed himself another top 10, so kicking ass, taking names there, Guido. And the final cigar for the Cup Series goes to Paul Menard, who finished 9th. It's only his 3rd top 10 of the year. So nice job, Paul. I guess you didn't suck. I don't know. I'm kind of over Paul Menard. I just think he needs to retire. And I don't know. I'm done talking about Paul Menard. Solid looking little throwback. We have one more award to give out. And oh boy, we love this. That's why we saved the best for last. What is it, Nick?
Oh God, it's the crying towel. And then he goes to big old salty Bobby Hillin, son of a bitch, Kyle Busch, for the 1000th time. Oh my God. The worst part is, he's right. We'll get into what he said right here.
You just can't get there with this package, you know, just such a one-lane racetrack. There's not enough options. There's not enough grooves that you can get enough air on your car to close that gap and make that pass. I was trying to save my right front because I knew my right front wasn't going to make it the whole rest of the way without me knocking the wall down. And I was right. I hit the wall with about 4 to go, and then I hit it again with 3 to go, and it killed it that time. And luckily we were able to salvage a 3rd, just dragging the fence for the last 2 laps. I don't think I've ever seen NASCAR not throw a caution in that scenario. Oh, yes, I have. That's right. I blew a left front tire at California in an Xfinity race, and we had to finish the whole last lap. So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, okay. The dirty air was terrible. We already went over it, but you still acted like a sore loser. You just made it seem like you're only complaining about it because you lost and you hit the wall and you couldn't get it done. Oh, Eric Jones beat you in the Snowball Derby and he beats you at Darlington. Oh, how sad. Oh, Kyle. And that's not even the best part of the interview. Near the end, talking about, like, oh, they've never thrown a caution for a guy riding around the wall before. Oh, wait, they have. It was me at Xfinity and Auto Club as well. Oh, NASCAR, you're so silly. Yeah, Kyle, oh my God, just stop it. Stop criticizing literally everything. I get it, you have a point. NASCAR's inconsistent with cautions, but again, you're just acting like a big baby. There's a time and a place, all right? Nice throwback, though. And that's not all. We have one little dishonorable mention. Tyler, who does that go to?
Oh, Joey Logano gets a wet nap. You know, wet naps, they're gentle on the skin and tough on messes, and I sure hope they are because Joey Logano made a big old mess in his pooper pants. Oh, damn it. He got all pissed off when Chase Elliott wouldn't let him go by because, you know, racing is so terrible. Oh my God, Chase Elliott, he was racing me. Fuck this kid. He's going in the wall. No, settle down, Joey. Jesus Christ. Come on now. It's a race. It was, you know, early on. It wasn't late or anything. It didn't really even impact you that much. Just, did your wife yell at you or something? Does she wear the fire suit in the families? I don't know, man. Either way, wet naps are on the table. Do what you gotta do. Shut up. Squinty dick. Well, that's awards.
All right, this is our favorite part of the episode. You know what time of the year it is. We are going to count down our top 10 favorite throwbacks from Darlington. Check it out. And yeah, we got to balance that out. We have 4 terrible paint schemes from the weekend that just didn't capitalize on their throwbacks. Were just downright terrible anyway. Tyler, what's the first one?
Oh boy, Kurt Busch and his #1 Chevrolet Accessories Camaro, which was a throwback to his very own 1969 Daily Driver Camaro, which, that's a badass looking car. I mean, Camaros are badass street cars, right? Of course. However, it simply did not translate to this cup car. It looks like shit. Now, the number font sucks. I have to take a jab at that. I've been so sick of that thing, and of course they couldn't change it here. It's just so unbelievably plain. I'm not even really jazzed about the color. It's got one single set of stripes on the hood. They don't transfer up onto the roof or the deck lid whatsoever. The Chevrolet Accessories is incredibly blending into these stripes on the hood, so that's poor colorization there. It's not even great on the side. I don't like it. It looks very clunky and just thrown there. Oh, and we're going to forget about the obvious monster that's slapped right on the side and on the deck lid for good measure. They really just didn't give a shit. They got to let everybody know, hey, this is monster. We're going to carve out this section and make sure that it's black. My God, I really can't stand that shit. It's such an eyesore. Not the first time we've seen it. Ugh. Poor, poor car. Glad it didn't win. Next car.
Next one is Eric Jones Sports Clips Camry. Oh, Sports Clips is at it again. They have historically had poor throwbacks. This one is no exception. This one throws it back to Jones' early late model days with the number 4. Now, first of all, the glaring problem is the number in the picture is red, but on the actual car this weekend it was white. Now, I believe he might have had another version where the late model had a white number, but either way, it's a terrible paint scheme. It's just a black base with a red rectangle that goes all the way from the nose to the deck lid. There's just no real design on it, and Sports Clips obviously just doing their thing. They couldn't really do any kind of throwback logo. They just put the checkered flags behind their logo on the hood, and that's really all there is to say about it. I mean, it won, and it's not the worst of the worst that they could ever come up with, but just try harder. You see all these great schemes out there. This one is just sitting there doing nothing. Oh my God. What's the next one, Tyler?
This one really chaps my ass, and it's Ryan Preece's Kroger bullshit JTG Doherty scheme Camaro, which is a throwback to Ron Bouchard's 1984. Okay, no. You got it wrong. You sit here and have the audacity to call this a throwback. It's incorrect. You look at the original car, and you see how it lines up. It just simply doesn't. Your white is the entirety of the hood, and that's not how the actual car was. Not to mention, let's talk about the blue for a second, as it is too dark. And you didn't even have the audacity to put the actual number font that Ron Bouchard ran. It's the same number, 47. You couldn't change it? Seriously? You had to be that lazy? This car is completely run down by the fact that it is Kroger not giving a good goddamn, because it's all about them and their products. Get your freaking Nature Valley Cheerios Ronzoni bullshit. Oh my God. This seriously is just nothing more than a regular basic paint scheme that you could have came up with. This isn't a tribute to anything or anybody, and you really should be embarrassed. This is probably the worst of them all, just because of the pure lack of effort and the fact that the sponsor, they didn't give a shit. Like I said, I'm so frustrated about this. Awful car. And that's the second year in a row for JTG Doherty making it into the worst paint schemes. Oh, hey, Chris Buescher didn't even run one, so fuck you for that too. But we are not done just yet. We have one more. Kane, please end this.
Oh, this list wouldn't be complete without a Hendrick scheme. Yep, Alex Bowman's Exalta Chevrolet, throwing back to Tim Richmond's 1986 number 25 Folgers car that also ran for Hendrick. They didn't even put any effort into this. First of all, you got the plain Exalta text on the hood and the quarter panels, and literally there's nothing. I mean, you couldn't make it so that it looked more like the Folgers text or the number 88. It's just the regular number font that they've run all year. They couldn't make it look more like the 25 font that ran in 86. Come on, Hendrick. Alex Bowman put more effort into his costume for the weekend than he did than you guys did. I mean, hell, he got the mustache, he had the wig, the aviator sunglasses. I mean, he was rocking that look, man. He fucking nailed it, which is not what you guys did with this paint scheme. Oh, my God. And this is one of your own former paint schemes. You couldn't even do that? Jesus, it's that simple. And you made it look even worse.
The only good thing is the colors themselves look kind of good under the lights, but that's like literally the only good thing I have to say about it.
And it depends on the angle of which, because in the daytime, it almost looks like the numbers are too dark, and they want to jump into the base color. It's all about the lighting with this car, and that's just not the way it should be. It should simply appear as good, and it does not.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that does it for paint schemes. All right, let's recap those fantasy results and picks from Darlington. And Damani bangs it out with another victory. He picked Kyle Busch, who finished in third, getting 51 points. Nick comes home in second with Kevin Harvick, who finished fourth and got 34 points. I picked Martin Truex Jr., who finished 15th and got 24 points. And Kane rounds out the rear with Denny Hamlin, finishing 29th and gaining only 22 points. So now we head to the final regular season race of the season at Indianapolis, the Yard of Bricks. Kane, who are you taking to kiss him?
Well, Denny Hamlin won the Daytona 500, Martin Truex Jr. won the Coke 600, and Eric Jones just won the Southern 500, so I say old dickhead himself, Kyle Busch, is going to make it a clean sweep for JGR at the 4 Crown Jewel events.
Hell no, to the no, 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 yeah, to the no.
He's already won twice at Indianapolis in the past 4 years, so who says he won't be able to do it again? Tyler, who's your pick?
Well, let's see. My chances of winning the fantasy regular season title were gone about 4 months ago. So I'm going Tank City because I want that first overall pick going into Richmond. I'm taking Bubba Wallace.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I'm serious. Nick?
I still can't believe that one. Well, I'm going for a pick that might actually have a chance to get a top 10, and that's Brad Keselowski.
God bless it.
He has a win there. He's strong. He had a really good start to the season. Kind of fell off a little bit, so I'm just waiting for him to get that mojo back, get Penske another win at the Yard of Bricks. Brad's going to do it. Damani, who is your pick?
Fuck you, you fucking squint.
Well, that about does it for this throwback edition of Behind the Wall presented by Perky Jerky. We hope you enjoyed listening. So, for Damani HD, who finally came back, I don't even know if he watched the race this weekend. For Thermite 917, oh man, it was great finally getting to play Uncharted 3 for the very last time. Oh, rest in peace online. Damn it! Oh, damn it! Damn it! Yeah, for Pro Bowl 43, who, as he mentioned in the intro, he was at the Xfinity Series race at Darlington this weekend, and he's got some tips he'd like to share. back, goddammit! And for myself, Kane Jr. 88, this has been Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. Get a bag today. And once again, you've been Behind the Wall, and thank you for listening. So now, I gotta look for the fucking results because I didn't think we'd be recapping this shit. Anyways.
Wow.
I think they're close,
okay.
actually. I'll have a medium Oreo Blizzard with M&M's.
Oh, of course you will.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Dairy Queen Blizzard!
I'm not
right,
going,
you
though.
will.
He is. So.
But you're still getting it.
You're still getting Dairy
No.
Queen. Ooh! Alright. Are we good now? Or we have to continue to talk about your medium Oreo Blizzard?
I could go for that.
I could go for one, too.
That's the best kind of blizzard.
Brother Leslie, make it 2. Medium Blizzards coming to the Leslie household.
Speaking of which, we're actually approaching the anniversary of that.
That's a classic interruption right there. I tell you what, throwback to your bullshit from 2017.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
right.
that's really
Tell you what, Nick, there's gonna be a marinara jar that's gonna roll out to your job tomorrow, and you're just gonna spill it everywhere. I'm talking all over vinyl wraps. I'm talking on the boss's computer. I'm thinking you're gonna spill it on a customer too. You'll probably spill it on their wife.
The doorbell's going to ring, and I'll open it. It's just going to be a jar of marinara on the floor.
Marinara!
Whoa!
Whoa!
Since we're on the subject of jars, I couldn't open a jar of pickles tonight, so I just went without it.
Oh my god.
You weak upper body fuck! Get him from this jar of pickles!
Well, I was the one that tightened it in the first place, so I just, I tasted my own medicine there, but I just didn't feel like getting the grippy thing to do it, which always works.
Thing?
And, I just didn't want pickles that bad, so, the thing where you put it over the lid and it twists better.
Was that sexual?
For God's sakes!
We're gonna need to find out what this grippy thing is. Okay. But this cigar isn't really for the result. It's for the fact that he had one of the greatest damn interviews that we've ever seen. Thank you, Kane, for coughing. Right before the race, during the... I'll just redo that.
Sorry.
That could have gone so smoothly, but now it's going to end up being an outtake.
Alright. Marinara!
Wow,
I think they're close,
okay.
actually. Nick?
Completely collapsed.